Hey guys, I just want to introduce you to a certain kind of math curriculum that we do use here at Verde Valley School in 9th and 10th grade. It's called the Interactive Mathematics Program. And if you're watching this video, chances are you're going to do a unit or two in one of these two books, the green book, the blue book. There's a lot of cool stuff in here. And I want to go over and introduce this program for you so you get a feel for the kinds of things we're going to be doing and the way we're going to work through mathematics, because it's a little different than you may have had in the past. First, Interactive Mathematics Program, that's a mouthful, so we call it IMP. And you're going to hear me say, oh, that's the IMP way, or in the IMP book. That's what I'm talking about. It's one of these two books. Okay, so this is a critical thinking-based mathematics program. So it's not drill and kill. So when I say drill and kill, this is rote mathematics where you get a lesson and then you do 10 or 20 problems based on that lesson. And then that pattern just repeats. Lesson, exercises, lesson, exercises. And that's really good for building algebra skills, geometry skills, that kind of skill-based, or we call rote mathematics. But critical thinking is probably more important than rote mathematics, because the things you learn in critical thinking are applicable to lots of areas of life and not just numbers. To be able to approach a new problem, think critically, devise a path to a solution, execute that path, then check your solution. This is a much more powerful way to approach numbers and actually all the kinds of problems you might bump into in your life. So I'm a big fan of the IMP curriculum, and I'm excited to begin this journey with you. So I want to talk about a little bit more about how it's different. This curriculum is also discovery-based. So instead of me saying, here's a circle, here's a diameter, we get pi by doing this, that, and the other, lesson, teach you, this book will lead you through a step of exercises designed to replicate the process that mathematicians go through when they discover stuff. So at various points in the curriculum, you may suddenly be staring at something that is like a revelation to you, like, oh my God, that's pi. Pi just showed up in this exercise. The exercise didn't teach you about pi. In fact, it even mentioned that pi might be discovered. So it gives you a taste for what is really exciting about mathematics. So in this process, I am less of a teacher, more of a co-pilot. So you might be frustrated with me from time to time because you're going to ask me, how do I do this? And I'm going to turn around and ask you a question. I might say, well, how might you start? Or what do you already know that you can use with this problem? Or is there a formula out there that might help you solve this problem? Or even perhaps more importantly, what formula might you use to represent these quantities? Things like that. So I'm going to be at your side, be supportive, all that good stuff that you know me for, but I'm going to be like pushing you to develop the ideas to solve the problems. So let's talk about the problems. Instead of 20 algebra problems or 20 geometry problems, what you're going to get is maybe only one problem, or maybe 2 or 3 or 4 problems. And they're pretty much all word problems. Now don't groan, because they're actually pretty cool. And a lot of students report a feeling of accomplishment when they solve some of these tricky word problems. So we'll go through them step by step. In addition to the mathematics that we have to use to do these problems, we also talk about the process of problem solving, which again is a super valuable skill that you can use anywhere in life where you bump into problems. So my experience of teaching this curriculum, which I've done for about 10 years now, is that you will find some things very easy. You'll read the word problem and you go, oh, I know how to do that, and you'll do it. And it won't take you very long and you'll be right. So if that's you, pay attention to some of the thinking questions that you'll get. They'll say things like, how do you know that your answer is correct? Now you know it's correct because you know the math and you did the math and you feel confident, or you double checked it, or one of your partners in your group got the same result. So you know it's correct. But I want you to dig a little deeper in there and think about, how do you really know that's right? Say things like, well, experimentally this works this way, or I've observed this in the past, or I checked my answer using another technique and I got the same answer. Okay, so be ready for some of that stuff to be really easy, but have thinking questions afterwards. And then sometimes the problems will actually be tough. And you might struggle with those outside of class. I'm going to assign some of the activities for like homework outside of class, and you're going to have to struggle with them sometimes. And here's what I want to say about that. Struggle, okay? You have to live in that zone. So you may crack the book, read the problem and go, huh? Read the problem again, go, what? What do they want? So here's what not to do. Oh, well, I can't do this, close the book, go on to something else. Don't do that. I can't give you credit for the activity that you're attempting if you don't attempt it. So what I need is 20 to 30 minutes of sustained effort on that problem. Don't worry if you don't know how to get there. Start putting stuff down. Think about an equation that might help you with that problem. Write down all the givens that are in there, like pull out the numbers and just put them down on a page. Ask your study hall proctor to see if you can talk to someone else that's in our class. See what they did. Maybe put it down for 10 minutes, do something else, come back to it. You can get full credit for your work as long as you show me evidence of 20 to 30 minutes of effort, even if you don't all the way get to a solution. And don't worry, when we go over that in class, we will get there, either as a group or if I need to, I will explain things. Don't worry, every activity will end up being fully explained and you will have a chance to incorporate all the necessary techniques for that. It's just, you have to learn to live with that tension a little bit of not knowing. So if you're a person that likes to dot the I's and cross the T's and make sure it's all contained before you go on to the next step, this course will challenge you a little bit because you might not walk away from every activity understanding it as fully as you might. But I promise you, with time and with review, you can get there. The last thing I want to talk about is our quizzes and our tests. So they will also contain the same types of problems. So sometimes the quiz question or the test question might be about a situation that's completely new, but you have to have confidence in yourself that, oh, but David has led us through all these activities that have provided me with the formulas, the steps, the processes that will help me solve this one. So you take a deep breath and you just apply yourself. Have confidence that you have the knowledge necessary to solve that problem. Okay? And then remember, I have a test retake policy that's pretty generous. I'm going to cover that in a separate video, but you have a chance to redo a quiz or redo a test if you just don't get the score you think you can. So that's a nutshell version of the IMP. Of course, we'll be talking more about that during class. I will be offering whatever support I need to offer you. Remember, I have extra help and all kinds of good stuff. So there you have it.